about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world.
My grandmother's biggest regret in life is her not being able to get an education. She stopped going to the school in the third grade. There was a semester in school at a point that my mom was my math teacher because the math teacher in school wasn't doing anything. The only way that could have happened is if she got an education. Your personal viewpoint is not what a graduation speech is for. This was not the venue nor the time nor the place to talk about that topic. Don't diminish the hard work of a lot of people just because of a personal viewpoint. Some people chose the path of education for a reason, and it doesn't stop them from being a good mom or a good mother.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we will analyze Harrison Butker's speech and see how he is being attacked for defending his values. We will look at how a group of women is demonizing him for saying that his wife is happy being a homemaker and taking care of her family. We invite you to smash that like button. Let's support the movement. Subscribe to the channel. That's the only contribution we ask from you, man. Add your grain of sand to the movement. Leave your experience in the comments for any man who needs it. Without further introduction, let's get started.
I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now, about to cross this stage, and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. By making it to this moment through all the adversity thrown your way from COVID, I hope you learned the important lessons that suffering in this life is only temporary. As a group, you witnessed firsthand how bad leaders who don't stay in their lane can have a negative impact on society. While COVID might have played a large role throughout your formative years, it is not unique. Bad policies and poor leadership have negatively impacted major life issues. Things like abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, as well as a growing support for degenerate cultural values in media, all stem from the pervasiveness of disorder. Our own nation is led by a man who publicly and proudly proclaims his Catholic faith, but at the same time is delusional enough to make the sign of the cross during a pro-abortion rally. He has been so vocal in his support for the murder of innocent babies that I'm sure to many people, it appears that you can be both Catholic and pro-choice. The world around us says that we should keep our beliefs to ourselves whenever they go against the tyranny of diversity, equity, and inclusion. We fear speaking truth because now, unfortunately, truth is in the minority. Congress just passed a bill where stating something as basic as the biblical teaching of who killed Jesus could land you in jail. I am certain the reporters at the AP could not have imagined that their attempt to rebuke and embarrass places and people like those here at Benedictine wouldn't be met with anger, but instead met with excitement and pride. Not the deadly sin sort of pride that has an entire month dedicated to it, but the true God-centered pride that is cooperating with the Holy Ghost to glorify Him.
What a great speech. This man is being the most attacked on the internet for this speech, with people trying to twist his words. We saw a video where specific parts are chosen to attack him, and even seeing the parts that were cut, I don't see what he said that was wrong. It's simply bad because he's a white, heterosexual man who said it. Do you know how many women have put their careers on hold to support their families as homemakers? Feminism considers this to be something bad, demonizing it as oppression and submission to men. When many women today, thanks to their support at home, make an entire family function. I don't know if you liked his speech, if you support it or not, but I am ashamed when simp men, to get along with women, join in destroying the life of a man who simply gave his opinion, his point of view, without thinking that tomorrow it could be you, the next masculine man, who will be attacked by the same laws that you are supporting today, laws that are created to screw you over. As if dyeing your hair and supporting a rainbow flag would change the fact that you are a man. Tomorrow, when you have to put on your pants like a man because the state is coming for you, the collective with colored hair will feel sorry for you because you were an ally. I am interested in knowing what you think about his speech.
Harrison Butker, who is a Kansas City Chiefs player, is getting so much backlash for a commencement speech that he gave, which included a lot of sexist, misogynistic, and anti-LGBTQ rhetoric. And he even quoted Taylor Swift in his speech. Harrison made the graduation ceremony speech at Benedictine College on Saturday. He acknowledges that over the years he's gained a reputation for speaking his mind, and continues saying things like abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, as well as the growing support for degenerate cultural values and media all stem from the pervasiveness of disorder. He referred to Pride Month as an example of the deadly sins taught in church, complaining that queer people have an entire month dedicated to their rights. I will note that he was speaking at a private Catholic college, and I will also note that not all Catholic people think this way. He also addressed women in his speech, telling them that their most important title should be homemaker. He also says some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. He says his wife would also say that her life truly started when she became a mother. He urged men to be unapologetic in their masculinity and fight against the cultural emasculation of men, and also quoted Taylor Swift from her hit song Bejeweled, saying, "As my teammate's girlfriend says, familiarity breeds contempt." However, I don't believe Taylor Swift would agree with any part of this speech. Harrison has been getting a lot of backlash online for his downright misogynistic speech. This person says one of the worst parts of this NFL player's awful speech is that he quoted a Taylor Swift song before telling women they should be homemakers and serve their man's career.
And he tells men not to apologize for their masculinity and to fight against the cultural castration of men. I totally agree with him. These are the moments when men need to support each other because, finally, someone has raised their voice, someone in a position where they can be heard. That's what scares people, that a man with the position to inspire more men has awakened and said that being masculine is not wrong, that wanting a traditional family is not wrong. I'm not saying to live in the 1950s, but to have a wife and children, to be a man who has faith in God and respects his faith and the faith of other men. This man said what many of us men have been silent about, but deeply feel is being overlooked. Today, it's frowned upon for a man to even open the car door for his woman, for a man to go to the gym, to wear neutral-colored clothes like white or black, to have a well-maintained body, and for us to gather with other men. They've taken away even the places that were sanctuaries for men to meet. Day after day, we are being castrated by this culture that supports everything except being a man. So how could I, as a man, be against this?
I wish I could be like the rest of the world and say I cannot comprehend or understand Harrison Butker's commencement speech, but I do understand it, and I got a very similar one to my own commencement speech. What people don't realize, and a huge reason of why I started my channel in the first place, is because I grew up in Christian fundamentalism, and I see it creeping into the regular evangelical Christian church with Trump, with politics, with policies. And so I know people are not hiding anymore their beliefs, they're saying the quiet part out loud. And so people who have not known that they've been working on this for years and years and years are surprised. I am not surprised in the slightest. Most churches that you go to, if they are non-denominational, if they say Baptist, if they are Presbyterian, for certain ones like OPC, some Presbyterians are more liberal, but if they're any of those basic generic denominations, they believe in complementarianism, and that means that they believe that women are to submit to men and that the woman's to be keepers at home, and that their main job is to make sure that the home is set and that they are helping and being helpmeets to their husbands. It is not surprising at all. I am a little shocked that he talked about it so openly since he's like on the Chiefs and famous, but then I'm not shocked at all because Christian nationalists have been gaining ground and they have already said what they think, and they are no longer trying to hide it, which is terrifying. And there has been no backlash on him as far as I've seen very much yet. And so he's going to get away with it because this is what they think, and it is not surprising. And everyone needs to start voting and uprising and speaking out, especially if you have lived fundamentalism and you have gotten away. Use your voice, because this is what they want for America, and this is what they are getting to with the Supreme Court and with Trump, and this is what the future of America will be. Women will be keepers at home and helpmates to their husbands.
Oh, hell no!
And now I ask you, what is wrong with that? Because what is the other option? That men become effeminate? That women become 30-year-old spinsters without children, hitting the wall and becoming cat ladies? That boys are taught to become girls, making it easy for them to ruin their bodies and turn into women? That women dominate men and men's rights are taken away to give privileges to women? That is the other side of the coin, opposite to what this man supports. I've always said that women are slaves to their own words. If you let them make decisions freely, they will go down the worst possible path. Because this girl seems to come from a conservative home, a Christian family with 2 parents at home, which is already a privilege for many. They gave her values and an education. I don't see her being a mother or wife. Since she doesn't have that, she wants to go against what she was once taught at home. That's why the saying goes, God, protect me from my friends and family, because I can't take care of my enemies. Because from a Christian home with traditional values came the weed. I'm sure her father must be very proud of her thoughts.
Harrison Butker. You are now Harrison Butker, who plays for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hi, Christian pastor here, and I didn't know who Harrison Butker was before today, and I am not a Roman Catholic either, but since a lot of these videos showed up on my For You page, I thought I would go and read the transcript of his commencement speech that he just gave. And I can tell you this, he does not care that he represents the Kansas City Chiefs. He represents a much larger organization, which is the Roman Catholic Church. And it was wild reading that transcript, how he went after the Roman Catholic Church, but you should go read it for yourself. One of the things he doesn't care about is the Kansas City Chiefs are never going to fire Harrison Butker for this. They might try to find a reason to fire him, but it's not going to be for this. If the Kansas City Chiefs fire him, they are going to get sued out of existence. If you think the NFL is big, the Roman Catholic Church is much, much bigger. And honest to God, if they fired Harrison Butker for this, the Kansas City Chiefs might be in such bad financial trouble that they will have to move from the whole city. It's just because that would be discrimination, religious discrimination. And he is certainly allowed to express his views, even if you do not like them. And he's certainly preaching to the choir at a very conservative Roman Catholic college that seems to be booming, by the way. Now, I think there's a couple things that we can learn about this from the transcript I read. So first off, if you want to know how conservative Christians, or even just conservatives in general, feel about how the country handled the pandemic, especially the leaders in our country, this is a great transcript to read. He was asked to speak at this commencement because the president of the college was basically like, these students have suffered because of the pandemic, and not just because of the pandemic, because of the way the leaders handle the pandemic. And so he's addressing that. And then he, of course, is going on to say that the way our culture is being led is led into things that are going to be the exact opposite of what your Roman Catholic teaching is teaching you to do. And in fact, he says priests have bought into the secular culture. He says that a lot of your classmates are going to buy into it. He even goes off of how the Roman Catholic Church really shouldn't even be doing masses in the English language. You should have only Latin masses, and you should only live in an area where they offer Latin masses. I mean, you should read the transcript, but basically he's saying that the world is aligned against you, and you need to stand in your faith and be strong. And there's going to be a lot of things that the church teaches that the culture is going to mock you for, and you just need to be strong for it. Well, most of the things I read in there, I don't agree with because I'm not a Roman Catholic. But I think when people then mock him for believing those things, you're actually just proving his point. And unfortunately, he's dug a pit for you to fall into. And a lot of these videos and response videos, just people walking right into it.
Stop it. Get some help.
And as I said, men supporting the narrative that will one day be used against them. I hope that when they go to file for divorce, they don't run to one of the states where masculinity is still upheld to try to protect their assets. Because as far as I see it, look, I don't share his religious faith, but I respect every religion. I only see a man who supports the traditional masculine man, which is very much needed today. Real men need to stand up and say what they think. Just remember what happened to Andrew Tate at the time. who even ended up in prison for saying what he thinks. And for a message that was, take care of your wife, take care of your children, work on yourself, your finances, go to the gym, and reject the matrix. That made the world cry out because a man dared to speak.
This is Harrison Butker's mom, Elizabeth Butker. And I want you to just look at her credentials. She is a medical physicist on staff at Emory University. If you don't know who Harrison Butker is, consider yourself lucky, but he is the kicker for the Chiefs, and he gave a horrific graduation speech yesterday at Benedictine College. In it, he talks about how a woman's true vocation is domestic work. And I just wonder if his mom agrees. She has a bachelor's from Smith College, a master's in medical physics at the Georgia Institute of Technology, and she's been in the Department of Radiation Oncology at Emory University for 36 years. And it makes me wonder if he realized what a direct insult that was to his own parent. And it is evident that he has no respect for the work that she did and continues to do. And I am not here saying that domestic work is not work. I truly believe that it is a ton of work, and it is unpaid work. And it also doesn't matter that that would be the partnership that he would choose, even though his mom worked outside of the home. But to have a mother that is as accomplished as she is, and then to stand up in front of a graduating class, of which she was one of those people in her time, and say that women have been deviously misled into believing that having a career or getting promoted at work is more important than your true vocation of being in the home. This is wild to me.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
See, this is why the purple-haired propaganda always twists what men say to fit their narrative. When he only spoke about the diabolical lies they've been told, he said that when you achieve promotions and titles in your career, you will have successful careers, just like his mother did. Then he says what his wife told him, that she began to live when she found her vocation as a wife and mother. He didn't say, everyone leave your careers and go to the kitchen to make me a sandwich. He said those who are married with families. This offends women who have achieved success but never got the ring and will never be married. And even if they say they are single by choice, we all know it's because they've hit the wall. This man did not attack, but highlighted the work of his wife with their family. He didn't tell her to leave her job, just as it seems her father didn't tell her mother, who continued working on her career while maintaining her home. He didn't say let's go back to the 1950s. He said to the women who choose to be homemakers, which is a role that today a man cannot glorify, because the purple-haired ones see it as an attack and misogyny. Brothers, they want this man to lose his job and his wife to leave him just for what he said. This is how far we've come, just for expressing our thoughts. It doesn't matter your values or political affiliation, but you are a man. It seems society is invalidating, blaming, and attacking us just for existing and raising our voices in a matriarchal society. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. What did you think of Mr. Harrison's speech? Do you think he deserves all the hate he is receiving for giving his opinion, to the point of losing his career? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from The Wall.